very clearly on the inside. He says, son, study the journey of the children of Israel from Egypt to Mount Sinai. For this is a picture of pure grace. Although they murmured and complained during this time, not a single one died. Now, I've never heard anyone preach this at a time. I've never read any books on it. So I feverishly went to my Bible, checked that portion as if to prove God wrong. Have you done that before? You can never win God. And I found not a single one died from Egypt to Sinai. Although they murmured, they complained. Now, how many know murmuring and complaining is sin? All right? Before the Red Sea, when the armies of Pharaoh were charging against them from behind and the Red Sea was in front of them, they shouted, Moses, did you bring us out here to die? Are there not enough graves in Egypt? They murmured and complained. No one died. God opened up the sea. Next 3 days they were doing okay, and then there was no water. They complained, and God made the bitter waters sweet. They were okay for a few days, and then they complained there was no food, and God rained not judgment but bread from heaven. It seems like every fresh murmuring brought forth fresh demonstrations of God's goodness. They complained again, there was no water, and God brought forth water out of the flinty rock. And then they came to the foot of Mount Sinai in Exodus 19. And then they said to God, all that the Lord has said, we will do. Now in the Hebrew is a strong word, na'aseh v'nishma, which means all that God can command us, we can do it. Even before they heard the 10 Commandments in chapter 20, they boasted even before they have heard. Now that is man presuming on his own strength, on his own righteousness, which he had none. And all this while God has blessed them, not because they are good, but because he is good. He has made a way and provided for them, not because of their faithfulness, but because of his faithfulness. They came out by the Abrahamic covenant of grace. And now at the foot of the mountain, in essence, they are saying to God, God, don't treat us, don't judge us, don't assess us don't bless us based on your goodness. Bless us based on our obedience. The moment man presumed on his own strength, notice God changed his tone in Exodus 19. God said, Moses, tell them, don't come near. All of a sudden, God puts a distance between him and man. If you want me to bless you based on your obedience, based on your goodness, then don't come near. The mountain is holy, lest you die. Now, he never had that tone before this. He was in the pillar of cloud by day, in the pillar of fire by night. He was close to them. And yet all of a sudden, because man presumed on his holiness, on his own righteousness, which he had none, God says, this is the deal. If you want me to bless you based on your obedience, don't come near. Not even a beast can come near, lest it dies. The next chapter, God gives them the Big Ten. And listen, God did not say, if you break one, you are guilty of the one you break. God says, if you break one, you are guilty of all. In other words, if you don't commit adultery, but you steal, God sees you as an adulterer. That's what it means. In other words, the 10 Commandments stands as a composite whole. And you know what happened after that? Right after Sinai, when they murmured and complained, the same sin they committed before Sinai, you know what happened? They died. When they complained, they died. When they complained, they died. That tells us they should never have exchanged covenants. And God put Israel for 1500 years, God put Israel under the law. And the best of them failed. Even David failed. See, the law condemns the best of us. Grace saves the worst of us. Hallelujah for his amazing grace.